Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Tuesday, September 27th, 2016. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. A $10 million loan from the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board will finance the construction of more than 50 affordable homes on Nevis. The Honorable Vance Amory, Premier of Nevis and Minister responsible for Social Security in the federal government, recently highlighted how that housing development would contribute to the island's economy.
With the expenditure of that $10 million, again, you have the benefit of the employment which you will create. You have the benefit of the providers of building materials participating in that development, so you have that spin-off. And then you have, for Social Security itself, as we've argued, that they too will benefit because the employees will be, and employers will be contributing back to Social Security. So you have an injection of $10 million in that one area is useful. So this is good for us in that we'll end the year and then commence a new year with some significant activity for the economy in Nevis.
That $10 million loan was secured by the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, NHLDC, through the Nevis Island Administration. Meantime, according to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, Minister of Lands and Housing and Chairman of the NHLDC Board of Directors, the new housing development will be in the St. James's Parish in an area known as 14 acres at Madden's Estate. Minister Jeffers visited that site on Monday, September 26th.
We have seen that most of the housing development here on the island, whether in Prospect, New River, Craddock Road, Bath Village, all of those areas have been built out to some extent. And a stone throw away from us, which is the Sunrise housing development, that has also been built out. So, of course, we have had to look around for additional areas to construct affordable income houses. And that is why we're here. So very shortly, I say within the next month thereabout, we should be able to report to say that we are ready to construct.
The necessary infrastructure to access the properties would be put in shortly, Minister Jeffers said.
We have done some work here over the last 3 weekends where we have done some clearing. We're going to make some adjustment to the road alignment coming towards this development. And of course, like I said, the infrastructure will be put in over the next couple of weeks. This area can be visited at any time. We're just in the process of doing clearing and getting the place ready. We're not going to wait until we hear that the monies are available to start doing all these things. We're hoping to put a lot of things in place before those monies are made available so that we can get going once the monies are here.
As noted by Minister Jeffers, interested persons can initiate their application for homes at the NHLDC.
Some persons who would have applied in the past, and we have those files still holding, we're going to bring those back to life, so to speak, because some persons may have had difficulties in the past. We're hoping that we can make it happen for them this time. But I want people to understand that this will be a serious process, not whereby we build a house and give you and say, go ahead with it. It's going to be done in a formal way, in that you'll have an obligation to repay that mortgage, and those steps and processes will be made available to the general public shortly. I believe we should have access to those funds hopefully somewhere around the middle of October. If that is the case, then we're hoping to start construction here well in advance of the end of the year. So I'm saying by the latter part of November, early December, we should have had the first foundation dug to proceed.
Some 32 homes are expected to be constructed at this location. St. Kitts and Nevis is being represented at the 4th Annual Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit, which officially began today in Belize. A delegation departed the Federation on Monday to participate in that summit. Among them was CARICOM Youth Ambassador for St. Kitts and Nevis, Joy Napier.
This is a very proud moment for St. Kitts and Nevis, and especially for our island of Nevis, because the opening address at this extremely prestigious summit will be delivered by none other than our very own, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, who is the Junior Minister in the Ministry of Social Development, Community Development, and Youth and Sports. We will all be extremely proud as she speaks out about youth issues facing not only our Federation, but our entire region.
Hosted by the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, the summit is being held under the theme Agenda 2030 from Rhetoric to Action.
Now, this is a huge time for youth across the Caribbean. This summit is going to bring together actors from all different sectors and all different areas of youth work. We plan to have representatives from Commonwealth, from CARICOM, from National Ministries of Youth. We will have youth organizations. We will have CARICOM youth ambassadors. Then we will also have public and private sector stakeholders, and we will also be hearing from intergovernmental organizations like the United Nations and the World Bank. So this is an incredibly proud moment for me to be representing the Federation. Now, the purpose of the summit is really to bring together young people across the Caribbean to make sure that we are a driving force behind the policies and the practices that are implemented with regards to youth and youth action in the Caribbean. We will be focusing on the Sustainable Development Goals, but there are also a host of other things that are on our agenda. We are looking at peace building in our communities and the ends of violence and conflict, which is a huge problem across the Caribbean. We're also going to be talking about climate change and the threat to small island developing states. We'll be speaking about our economic development, and we'll also be talking about youth policy, something which we are all very passionate about and which our own Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is now taking a forefront at in adopting youth policy.
The sessions will focus on youth development statistics, global indicators, youth and social inclusion, gender and health, and partnerships in youth development. Also a part of the delegation are Coordinator of Youth Development Zanella Claxton and a representative from the Nevis Island Youth Council, Verna Grant, as well as representatives of youth organizations on St. Kitts. The Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit is expected to run from today, Tuesday 27th to Friday 30th September, when there will be a cultural evening. Still to come, Ministry of Tourism's taxi training seminar postponed. The details after this break.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to finance free health care at all health centers on Nevis. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis. Be a responsible citizen.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Tourism has advised that the start of its taxi training seminar has been postponed to Monday, October 3rd. A notice from the Ministry of Tourism says the training seminar for prospective taxi operators and tour guides on the island was originally scheduled to begin on Monday, September 26th, but had to be postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. The seminar will instead run from Monday 3rd to Monday, 10th October 2016 at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall. The sessions are scheduled for 5 to 8 p.m. nightly. The training is part of the ministry's continued efforts to enhance the tourism product standards on Nevis. For further information, contact the Ministry of Tourism at 469-5521 extension 6442 or 6443. Showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad area of low pressure located about 950 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands have increased and become slightly better organized since Sunday. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, in Miami, environmental conditions remain conducive for development and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next day or two, while the system moves westward to west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Interest in the eastern and central Caribbean Sea, including the northern coast of South America, should monitor the progress of the system. Regardless of development, heavy rains and strong gusty winds, possibly to tropical storm force, are expected to spread over the Windward Islands and portions of the southern Lesser Antilles beginning late Tuesday or Wednesday. An Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft was scheduled to investigate this disturbance on Tuesday afternoon. The 24th annual Nevis Beach Cleanup put on by the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society, NHCS, was held on Saturday, September 24th. Executive Director of the NHCS is Nicole Liebert.
We had about 200 persons, including school groups, a number of community organizations, who came together to clean between 11 to 17 sites on the island of Nevis. We want to thank them very much for that. We'd also like to thank a lot of major contributors because this is a volunteer event. We rely a lot on assistance. I want to start off by thanking Mr. Gary Colt, whose property we're using this afternoon. Year after year, he generously allows us to come at no cost. The kids get to use the swimming pool. We're close to the beach. It's a really nice setting. I would also like to thank Carib Breweries, the Sinkers Bottling Company. We'd like to thank Nevis Spring Water. We'd like to thank Value Mart, Mr. Samuel Rowe, who assisted us greatly with a number of items. Last but not least, we want to say thank you to Four Seasons, who came on board again to assist us with a number of food items also. And if there's anyone else I'd like forgotten, I would like to say thank you. We also had a lot of NHCS members who would have donated items or supported us, volunteered, and other in kind. So we want to say thank you for that.
General Manager of the Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, Andrew Hendrickson, spoke about the agency's involvement in the cleanup.
So there was a fantastic effort, and what we were involved in driving the island, starting at Market Shop and collecting the bags that were brought from down Hanley's Road, because when the groups clean the beaches, they put what they collect on a pickup and bring it to the main road to make it more accessible for solid waste, for Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority. And so the volume was very impressive and the sun was very hot. So I see we have some real dedicated practitioners out there doing their stuff and keeping Nevis clean.
One of the group leaders, John L. Williams, spoke to us about what her team discovered.
We're finding a lot of bottles, a lot of styrofoam containers, a lot of drink bottles, a lot of glass bottles, and so on. I think there should at least be some garbage bins because it seems like all the garbage goes on the rocks and into the water.
The Nevis Beach Cleanup is the island's contribution to the International Coastal Cleanup promoted by Ocean Conservancy. The cleanup ended with a get-together at the Coconut Grove restaurant where the participants were treated to lunch. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Good night.